And welcome to Heartland Footy here on NITV. Rumballara, we continue to follow them in the Murray Football League. Round 3 action about to get underway here at Mercury Drive, the home ground of Rumballara. Big crowd here for today's game. It's 6th versus 8th on the ladder. Both sides with a win each so far in season 2021. Moama would come here fancying themselves. And Rumballara in Ash Miller's 150th game today. Congratulations, Ash, on an illustrious career at the Rumballara Football Club. Here we go. Ball up. Rumballara kicking to the left of your screen in the first quarter. They'll win the centre clearance. Wise might have copped one high there. The umpire let it go. The ball makes its way forward towards Moama's end. Picked up there. Well done by Nath Turlick. Shovels a handball back to his teammate there in Corey Wanganeen. Releasing player out wide was Atkinson, inaccurate with the kick. That the Kyle model, and it goes out of bounds on the full. So the resultant free kick will go the way of Moama. Spearing pass, ill-directed. Well cut off there by Ash Miller. Gets his first touch in game number 150. Dribbles the kick. Mate, looked like it was difficult there for McCartney, but it wasn't. Picked up, handballed over the top. Contest here. It's a 2-on-2. Rumballara win out. Wanganeen was in there trying hard. Eventually, breaking the lines there was Lovegrove Hudson up to the forward pocket. The umpires found a free kick, and it looks as though it's going Rumballara's way. It'll be a free kick in the forward pocket. So a first shot on goal for the afternoon from about 35 metres out on the slightest of angles. Not much wind here to speak of today. Beautiful autumn day in the Goulburn Valley, about 21 degrees. The kick on its way looks pretty good. It is straight over the goal umpire's head. Make no mistake about that. So Rumballara get their first goal of the afternoon. And a sensational drop punt there. One straight 6, Rumballara. Moama yet to score. It was that contest on the half-forward flank there where Rumballara just had the numbers, and it was Stephen Stallion kicking the first goal of the afternoon. Beautiful right foot kick straight through the middle. Back in the middle we are. Well done out of the middle there. Nath Turlick just picked it up and kicked it out to nobody in particular. So Rumba won the centre clearance. It was cut off on the halfback flank now. Lachlan Cosgriff with the footy. Prefers his left foot. Nice pass to Mitch Lake, who takes the mark, and he's searching up the field for Eldridge, who was on a long lead. Ball didn't quite get to him. Bouncing now, centre wing. Picked up there by Kyle Baker, who took his time to get rid of the footy and then copped a little bit of the turf while he was kicking that one. Now Buchanan handballs it back to a teammate, cut off. Well done, Chris Egan now with the football. Just bullocks his way through. Kick into the middle of the ground. Dangerous for Rumballara. Picked up now. Stallion with the footy. First goal kicker of the game. Kicks it now inside 50. Running after it there was Clayton McCartney. He's gone the blonde locks, actually. He's dyed it up top. Looking fantastic out there. Unfortunately, didn't pay off on that occasion for him. The kick further up to the half-forward flank now was cut off. Moama with numbers now. Handball back into the middle of the ground. Ill-directed and another turnover. So Wanganeen now with the footy. Handball. Turlick has it now. He lowers the eyes. Chip pass up to centre half forward. Jamie Atkinson takes the mark. Spears the pass in the McCartney direction. He couldn't mark. Papoulis was there. Was he held? No, said the umpire. Socket off the deck. Van der Sluis now. Did he hold the footy? No, said the umpire. Picked up opportunity here. Chip pass. Papoulis couldn't quite get on the end of it. And it's extracted from the defensive 50 for Moama, only momentarily. It'll come back in now. Larkins was tackled. He was dispossessed. Picked up now by Stallion. Again, his kick was cut off. Comedy of errors at the moment. Turnover central. Now there's a loose footy out wide. Who's going to get there first? Rumballara with the handball going inside 50 once again. Kicked off the deck. Back up towards the centre wing. Cut off now by Turlick. High up and under kick to centre half forward. Underneath it there was Atkinson. Couldn't take the mark. Umpire blew the whistle. No, that was on the netball courts. Play on, said the umpire. Mark cut off. Back pocket now. Moama with the run. They will go by foot now in the direction of Pell, but Pell was met by the Rumballara player there whose jumper number I unfortunately don't have. Number 11. There's a couple of players. I double-checked that before the game. We'll have to sort it out at half-time as the umpire throws the footy up. Oh, gee, that might have been high, but no, said the umpire. Ball comes out the back now. Was maybe number 40 for Rumballara. So two players out there, apologies, number 11 and number 40, whose names I was not given. Kick up in the Papulis direction. Good defence there by the Pies. The kick out to the halfback flank. Now, really good defence there. Oh, geez, tried to do a fair bit with this as the player in Zach Stovall, but he was good enough to find a target further afield in Clay McGregor now, who has the football. He kicks up towards half forward. Really nicely weighted there for Darcy Bibby, who runs around onto his left, kicks it up towards the hot spot. Top position there, Tobias Hoare takes the mark. And second bite of the cherry, was able to complete the job, and he'll have a set shot opportunity only 20 metres out directly in front. He's got very long arms. Looks to be a good 6'3". Blade Larkins, who is his direct opponent there, is quite a tall fellow too. So he rolls in. The right foot drop punt makes absolutely no mistake. So Moama draw level with their first goal of the game. So 1 goal apiece, scores a level here at Mercury Drive in Rumballara on this beautiful autumn day. Game 150 for Ash Miller. They'd love to celebrate with a win here, Rumballara. As mentioned, currently sits 6th on the Murray Football League ladder after 2 rounds. 1 win, 1 loss. Quite possibly should be 2 wins. Just the 6 points in round 1 on Good Friday to Numurkah. It was just kicking inaccuracy that probably cost them in the end. Now, in the middle of the ground, Turlick with the footy. Handballs it out to Wanganeen. Spearing pass up to centre half forward. Mark taken. Now wheeling around onto the right and finding McCartney. Good lead. Just that burst of speed that we've come to know over that first 5-10 metres. He's able to create separation. Now, I did mention there wasn't a great deal of breeze, but maybe just a zephyr slightly blowing against here. So distance may just test McCartney. It's a penetrating kick, and I tell you what, goodness gracious me, distance not an issue whatsoever. That has carried at least 10 metres. What a kick by McCartney. Just hammered the ball, kept it low, so it pierced through the wind, and he gets his first of the afternoon, and Rumballara 2 straight 12, lead Moama 1 straight 6. But just a nice bit of clearance work out of the middle of the ground. Nath Turlick did a great job, and McCartney just read the situation beautifully. Got that separation from his opponent and created the hit-up target and converted the opportunity. Ball won by Rumballara. The kick comes from Walker. Out to a forward flank. Unable to find the intended target. So the ball goes over the line. Thrown up. Slapped down now. There's Turlick in there fighting hard again for Rumba. Kick comes out the back, and this time Peter Hood is in a good spot. He kicks it to a really dangerous position for Moama in terms of their ability to defend this. Picked up by McCartney, well done. The big don't argue comes. Hood now, opportunity, lowers the eyes, smart footy. Looks like it might be Turlick. It is, who gets the handball off to his teammate. Stallion loads up on the right from outside 50. It comes back, it hasn't been touched. I think it's gone through. Yes, it has. 3 straight to Rumballara. So Nathan Turlick was alert to the fact that Steve Stallion obviously has the journey in him. Got around onto his right foot, and now he's kicked his second goal for the day. Really good footy smarts there and ability to finish, helped by the shepherd down in the goal square. It's a good lesson for any young forward when you're not involved in the play and potential for a goal. That's what you do. As Moama now with a chance to go forward. Chrissy Egan, oh, beautifully cut off at centre half back, and the pirouette there as well. The kick, unfortunately, not able to find a target. Back in the middle of the ground now, Moama. Great pressure came from Hood there, forced the turnover back the other way. Now Chrissy Egan, by hand to Wise, to Wanganeen. Wanganeen, right foot, now onto the chest of Atkinson. Now down forward, and that was better defence by Moama. Cut off there by Dylan Pinney, who goes by hand out wide now to Fraser Verhey. Up to centre wing. Was looking for George Preston, unable to find him. And the ball goes out of bounds, so we'll have a boundary throw-in. Far side of Mercury Drive here. It's just a little bit of a hamstring tightness there by the looks of things for Chrissy Egan as he looks to come off the field and just get a little bit of a rub by the looks of things. In the meantime, the ball back in the middle of the ground. Wise dribbles one inside 50. McCartney there. Papoulis by hand. Snap on goal. Right foot kick is a beauty. Rumballara absolutely on fire here in the first quarter. I'll put the goal down to number 40 on my team sheet, whose name at this point in time, sadly, have not been given, but I will get some housekeeping done at quarter time and sort that out for you. Great finish. And as mentioned, 4 goals straight now. The alarm bells start ringing for Moama. They really seriously need an answer, and they need an answer quickly. So 2 goals to Stallion. The only multiple goal kicker so far on the afternoon. McCartney's got one. As well as our friend who will remain nameless only momentarily though. We'll get that sorted out for you. As the ball now is won back by Stallion. Booming right foot kick up in the Papoulis direction, takes the mark. Well read, and I don't think there's a great deal you can do about that as a defender. The kick just dropped into the gap between the two, and Papoulis took the catch right in the bread basket. The slightest of angles. He's kicked 1 goal so far in his 2 games this year, and traditionally a defender. He's playing forward this afternoon. The kick just pushed across the face of goal. It was a nice looking kick. Unfortunate for Rumba. their first blemish on the scorecard for the afternoon. And they lead this one by 19 points. We've travelled about 13 minutes into the first term. The ball, a bit of a dour struggle on the half-forward flank for Rumba. Plenty of numbers around that contest, so the umpire comes in to separate, throws the footy up, was one down by Jordan Ives, whose kick was misdirected. Sounds as though the players are calling Huddo, maybe Hudson. We'll find out at quarter time for you. Picked up by Turlick. Turlick now back to Hood, almost runs onto it. Really good second effort there, almost won the footy back. Now it's extricated by Fraser Verhey, who gets some help there from his teammate in Baker. Further afield now, punched by Wanganeen, defended well. So any foray forward there for Moama was quickly cut off by Wanganeen. So true centre wing position, far side of Mercury Drive. Rumbalara's home ground here in the northern part of Shepparton, Central Victoria. G'day to wherever you're watching, right around Australia on NITV on this Sunday morning. Picked up now by Luke Eldridge for Moama. High up and under kick, going to be difficult to mark. The umpire pay a free kick here? No. Thought possibly Mitchell Lake had a case there for being tunnelled. Umpire in a far better position than I am to make that call. So the ball in is good. Slap down, and the umpire will reset as the ball going absolutely nowhere. As it looks to be Patton in the ruck. Up to centre half forward and cut off beautifully there by Kane Atkinson. He's got a lovely right foot on him. It was on display for you right there. He hits up Timmy Kelly, who elects to chip it. Didn't quite get the distance right on the kick, but was there to help out. Good second effort, mopped up. And then this squirts one long. And out of bounds on the full by the looks of things. So unlike TK, turnover. So Moama with the footy. A lot of the play happening on the far side of the ground at the moment. Back in the middle of the ground, won by Rumba. Handball out towards Ash Miller. Kick up to half forward was cut off. Verhey had his work cut out for him. He got some support from a teammate whose kick probably wasn't the best, although Jai Udija tied up in a tackle. The troops arrived in time for the Pies. Up and down it goes. This time it's Larkins in the ruck. Nothing doing. Umpire will take the ball and reset at centre half forward for Rumballara. Still plenty of time left in this quarter. Rumballara with a 19-point advantage. And if anything, in terms of this very slight breeze, they'd probably be into it, I would say. As Wanganeen works hard there. Picked up by Atkinson. He lost it. Udija now tries to do too much and is penalised. So Moama win the footy back through sheer pressure and then just, well, almost cough it up there. Lazy handball. That's a bit of a coach killer. Then sock it off the deck. Wanganeen just picks it up easily. Oh, well done. Desperate stuff there. Moama, they win the footy back. This time through Lake. Up towards Hoare. Hoare dropped the mark. Picked up by Kelly. Back to Wanganeen. Around the body. Cut off by Wilson. So Justin Wilson loads up. They elect to go forward here and to nobody in particular. And well done, Rumballara. They just got back and set up defensively very quickly. if they do that all day, they're going to make it really hard for Moama to score. A high up and under kick, one-on-one contest. Well done there, fisted out by Kane Atkinson. And Clay McGregor with his opponent on that occasion. So the boundary umpire will throw the football in directly back in front of the commentary position. So fisted down and ball going nowhere here. As Ash Miller takes his opponent Jack Russell over the line. He's had a haircut since I last saw him, Ash Miller. It has been quite some time. Of course, without a season last year due to the pandemic, community sport, we had none of it in Victoria. Ken Wise there, kick up to the half-forward flank was cut off. Now Verhey for Moama. Looks to go the switch, had to be good by foot was. McCartney applied good pressure. Cosgriff gets across to provide an option. Back now to Verhey. Half-bank flank. Kick really loose, and that's cut off easily by Walker. So turnovers really hurting Moama at the minute. Walker spears a kick. Came out like a torpedo punt, but it was cut off by Pinney, who has it in the back pocket. So Pinney up to centre half back to Bibby now. Rumballara are just all over Moama at the minute, and everywhere you look there's a one-on-one contest, so no loose men for Moama. Picked up there by Alan Norris, kicks it into the forward pocket. Verhey chases it out, and they'll be content with a stoppage inside their back half. That wind now probably changing to maybe even favour Rumballara's end, so gusting around a little. A flat ball in, picked up by Hood. Hood, snap on goal! I think he's got it! Yes, he has! So really clever, and oh gee, that's just poor defending from Moama. They've left the goal square almost unattended. So the coach will be perhaps having a word with his defenders about that. Shouldn't have had that much space to be able to do what he just did there, Hood. And fortunately for him, it wasn't touched by anybody and goes through for another major for Rumballara. So we said that alarm bells would be ringing for Moama. Well, they certainly will be now, as it puts us out to a match-high 25-point win. And this is where it's all happening, middle of the ground. Miller and Atkinson involved there. Well done, Cosgriff just willed himself on the contest, got the ball going forward. Preston tied up in a really good tackle there. Now Jack Russell got one over the shoulder. Umpire maybe blindsided on that occasion. Bibby now by hand or tripped. His opponent just fell over his own 2 feet there, and they lost the footy. Now Rumballara going back the other way. They get the ball up to the half-forward flank now. Wanganeen takes the mark. As a matter of fact, it was Steve Stallion who took the mark. Now kicks it in the Papoulis direction. Was he held by his opponent? No. Wins the footy, picks it up to Wise. Wise has it and just goes through, perhaps even for a rushed behind there. It's a good 190 to 200 metres away from my vantage position here. And it looked as though it might have been rushed through in the end. So Moama, pump it long, straight up the middle of the ground. This, oh gee, that's another coach killer there. His teammates turned their backs on one another, and although they won the football back there, good pressure came from Jack Russell, who's starting to get involved in the contest. Now up to the half-forward flank. This looks a little more positive from Moama. Now Buchanan up towards full forward. You could see the wind affect the kick there. Cut off, though, on the last line by Atkinson. Does really well. Atkinson got it to Walker, who got it across to Hood. Now Hood up towards centre wing. Rumballara are away, streaming away with the football there. Turlick up towards the half-forward flank now. McCartney, right foot. He kicks it in the Papoulis direction. Will it stay in? Touched before it went over the line. So it'll be out of bounds for a boundary throw-in, and that's quarter time here at Mercury Drive, the Rumballara Recreation Reserve. 5-2-32 Rumballara over Moama. 1 straight 6. They've got plenty of work to do. You're right here on Heartland Football on NITV for the Murray League. We follow Rumballara week in, week out. Stick around. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to Heartland Football here on NITV. Rumballara play hosts to Moama. Really good first quarter from them. 5 goals, 2 to 1 goal straight. They lead it comfortably here. Second quarter underway. Moama will have the wind. A slight advantage in this quarter. They win the first centre clearance. That's something that the coach certainly would have addressed. They got smashed in that area in the first quarter. Lake, his kick inside 50. Might have been touched off the boot. Either way, it went over the line and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Ball's thrown back in. Half-forward flank now. Josh Pell, former premiership player for Kyabram, a journeyed footballer in this region. Remember some years ago, Josh Pell won a McNamara medal in the Kyabram District Football League. He's played plenty of footy. Finds his way to Moama in 2021. As the ball not really going a great distance at this point in time, so the umpire comes in to restart. Punched out down to Justin Wilson, who gets it going inside 50. Jack Russell charged at it, picked up off the side of the boot. This one out of bounds on the full. So Jake Kneebone just off balance there with the kick. Really starved of any chances. And full credit to Rumballara's defence. They just set up so well, made it extremely difficult and just continued to apply pressure in their back half, which led to them being able to easily repel any thought of attack by Moama in that first quarter. We saw Stephen Stallion kick 2 goals. And number 40 was Ryan Lovegrove Hudson, whose jumper number I was given as number 30. So there's that bit of housekeeping I promised you. Number 11, Dylan Kerr. So we've got all of that sorted out as promised. Now Hood sells a little bit of candy, lost the footy. Moama win it back, kick the ball up towards full forward. It's all Rumballara. Front position there, almost taking the mark, but not quite, was Kane Atkinson. Ball hits the deck. Goes out of bounds. Josh Pell over there again involved. Pointing directions now around the stoppage. A place over his journey. He's very well familiar with doing some of his best work. Not on this occasion, as Rumballara are able to, through Lovegrove Hudson, get the ball up to centre half forward. Picked up, right foot kick, Miller over the top. Now Kerr, an opportunity tied up by his opponent. Oh, well done. They were in all sorts of trouble there, Moama, and are again now. Kerr, straight back on the scene, over the top, rolls into an open goal, and Turlick goes bang. So just the sheer weight of numbers there. You saw the Rumballara midfielders just really quickly encroach onto the forward 50 there. There was a 4-on-2 situation, and the work rate of Moama's midfield just needs to lift. Otherwise, they are really going to lose touch in this game as Rumballara kick their 6th goal. That's the first goal for Nath Turlick so far in season 2021. So the question is here, what can Moama do to get themselves back into this contest? At the moment, there's a real sort of hush around the ground. Shell-shocked they are, Moama, at the moment. Appealing for the free kick there was Wilson. Eventually, Pell won the footy, got it to centre-half forward. They've got some numbers here now, Moama. What are they able to work out? A chain of handballs back to Wilson. High up and under kick. Umpire's going to pay a free kick downfield here, late contact. So they're going to get a free hit here, Moama. Just a little bit of a late hit. There was no malice in it. It just adjudicated to be late by the umpire, so fairly enough. A downfield free kick was the result, and Luke Eldridge rolls in. The kick on its way is pulled big time, and unlike Eldridge, who's kicked 5 goals so far in season 2021, usually a beautiful kick, pulls it. Will they get a repeat entry here, Moama? Miller did well, won the footy, got it to Hood. Hood by hand, found Lovegrove Hudson. Lost it. Now, the umpire has paid a 50-metre penalty here. So it'll be Fraser Verhey who has the shot on goal for Moama. Came across from the Echuca Football Club in the Goulburn Valley League. Fraser Verhey. So Moama, the sister town of Echuca on the other side of the border, just in New South Wales. This kick misses the other side. So the wind is really playing with the heads of Moama's forwards at the moment. The 2 first set shots of the quarter have been, well, have left a lot to be desired. Let's just say that. So a couple of early opportunities for them squandered as they trail by 31 points. They desperately need the next goal. McCartney takes a mark in the back pocket, a long way out of his preferred territory. Blade Larkins with it. Still pretty much in the back pocket. The kick was okay. It was well read there by Wilson, and he did well to stick a hand out in front of his opponent there and slap it out of bounds. So they'll get a stoppage. Rumballara have been so crafty, whether it's been in the centre or at stoppages around the ground. Really dominated that part of the contest so far, as Hood now tries to find front position. Eventually it was picked up by Rumballara. It may have been Tim Kelly. Actually, the kick was misguided and went out of bounds on the full. Now, a really penetrating kick up towards the forward pocket. Hall went the big fly, couldn't take the mark. Now up to the hot spot, Moama with some numbers here. Opportunity, oh, that's holding the ball, has to be. Mitchell late, not quick enough to get rid of it. He was on his left side and then tried to get around onto his preferred right. Unable to do so. Wanganeen, it looked as though, who laid the tackle. So out to Patton. Oh, cut off by Russell. Russell fires with the right foot. Not going to score. And it's punched out into touch by Larkins. So they've been really wasteful so far in this first 5 minutes of the second quarter have Moama, but the ball has basically lived in their attacking half, which is better signs for them. They need a goal. Are they able to get one here? Or, gee, probably a free kick could have been paid there to Rumballara. Umpire not agreeing with me on this occasion. Hood appeared to be held. Ball up. About 45 metres out. Wanganeen soccers it off the deck. Who's home? Nobody. Jack Russell now wins the footy. Dodges, weaves, tackled, dropped, free kick. As the kick onto the half-back flank now. Rumballara up to centre-half back now. Verhey is underneath it. Couldn't quite take the mark. Turlick tries really hard. Umpire will come in as Chris Egan is in his civil clothing now and will join Jason Trianides on the bench here. Stallion just throws the footy onto his boot, gets it going forward, but it goes out of bounds. It looks as though, well, not looks as though, certainly Chris Egan is done for the day. Seemed to be a high hamstring, so hopefully for him it's nothing too serious. And we are able to see him back at some point during the year. We saw him do some really good things in that early stages of the first quarter. He's just got that class, hasn't he? Being an ex-AFL player, you can tell when you see him play. Although, obviously, at the twilight end of his career. You can also hear Chris Egan on the National Indigenous Radio Service at times with special comments via your local Indigenous radio station, or you can stream it live on the AFL app. Kick cut off on the halfback flank now. Atkinson finds McCartney. McCartney's been really good so far in this first half. Up on the back flank. Kick in the Hood direction. Hood's caught and had prior opportunity according to the umpire. So they play on quickly here, do Moama, and they find a target. Paul Vandersloot. He's within range. He'll have to kick it from about 50 metres, I would say, as Corey Wanganeen looks to stand the mark about 45 out. And the breeze is definitely favouring the left-hand side of your television screen. That's a really good-looking drop punt, and that might just be the spark that Moama need. Finally, they're able to kick a goal in this second quarter, and it's their second of the game. And Paul Vandersloot slots it for the Pies. Just what the doctor ordered in terms of this contest. Back to a 25-point margin, the way of Rumballara. As Steve Stallion makes his way to the bench as well. Just grimacing a little bit, so maybe just a little bit of muscle tightness there. Just comes off for a little bit of a rest. Hopefully no injury to him. As the ball back in the middle of the ground. Now there's going to be a free kick going the way of Moama, that against Patton. And Jack Russell, right foot, was not fantastic, but maybe effective in the end. Good pressure came from Wanganeen. Soccers it off the deck out in front of his opponent. He's got 3 to beat here. It was too much even for the great Wanganeen himself. Picked up there by Pell. Spearing pass up in the Hore direction. Couldn't take the mark. They're looking much more lively here. But picked up now off the half-back flank. It was... looked as though Tim Kelly once again there. And maybe just touched before it went out of bounds. So it'll be a boundary throw in. About 75 out from Moama's goal. Kerr couldn't control the footy, but did well at the bottom of the pack for Rumballara. They still hold on to this 25-point lead, but you feel like Moama are pressing here. Up and down the footy goes. Plenty of numbers around this one. As you can see, the umpire will blow her whistle. Great to see female umpires at senior level in the Murray Football League doing such a sensational job too. The umpiring's been brilliant so far today. Kick up towards full forward. It's all Rumballara here. Oh, super job there. And Atkinson might have tried to do maybe just a little bit too much there. The kick was clever. In the AFL, they might give that one deliberate, but not here in the country. Clever kick there by Blade Larkins. So we'll get a throw in, 55 out. Tap down by Patton. Straight down. And the kick by Kerr to the centre of the ground. Now front position, was he pushed in the back? Umpire said no. It was Alan Norris at the bottom of the pack there. Or was it holding the footy? Vandersloot kicked a goal not too long ago. Back in the middle of the ground now. Picked up again by Norris. Oh, that is a huge clash there. As a matter of fact, it was Norris that was hit in the contest there. He looks to be okay. Just the wind knocked out of him by the looks of things. The trainers run out to him very, very quickly. Thank goodness his head wasn't contacted there, but certainly had the wind blown out of him. That is for sure. This is going to be a ball up. Centre wing. Alan Norris, who I thought was actually the kicker of that footy. He was the attempting marker. Just a collision of two players. Now Vandersloot with the footy up towards centre half forward. Overcooked the kick. Slapped down there by Josh Pell. Now to full forward. Opportunity for Hoare. Couldn't take the mark though. Really should have marked that one. Oh, well done, Larkins. Just weaved a little bit of magic and then got the footy out of the danger area. Only momentarily though now. Wise, he's got 3 to beat. Oh, does sensational job there. Handballs it to Kerr. Kerr, handballs now to Turlick. Out in front of Turlick it goes. Oh, gets around his opponent, gives out the don't argue, has a bounce, gets around another opponent, strolls inside 50, kicks it up to full forward, and unable to create the highlight reel moment there. Kick just had a bit much on it for Papoulis. So they relieve now the Pies. Russell to Stovell. Middle of the ground. Now Bibby has the footy. Nicely weighted kick, although reading it perfectly with Nath Turlick. Nice pass to Jamie Atkinson. Now Wise with the footy. Spearing pass. Oh, that is a beautiful kick of the footy. Silver service right there. And gee, he looks super fit. There's Wise. The kick is just off to the right there from Lovegrove Hudson. And we'll go through for a minor score. So from full back, Moama now up to centre half back. Vandersloot. Did he drop the footy? No. Sheldon. That was Sammy Sheldon. Links up with DeWine. Long kick up in the Pell direction, charging at the football, taking a good mark. It's an open forward 50 now. Hoare's the intended target. Got one bite of it, couldn't quite take the second. Hits the deck now. Buchanan there. What's he able to do? He wins the footy, gets on his right foot, and then off. Hoare drops what he should have taken there. Now he's got 3 to beat. And unfortunately for Moama, that was an opportunity gone begging. really should have been taking that mark. They worked so desperately hard, but weren't able to capitalise. Can they do something from the stoppage here? Thrown in, picked up there by Jamie Atkinson, whose kick outside of 50's cut off by Moama. They've struggled in this area so far in the game. That's a bombing kick. Pell underneath it. Would have taken a good effort to mark that one. Now Rumballara repel out wide to Lovegrove Hudson, who appealed for the free kick. Umpire said no. Now the kick up towards full forward. The umpires found a free kick. I'm not quite sure what that was for. Questions are being asked here. Perhaps there may have been some demonstrative behaviour, putting it nicely, leading to the free kick that was given to Fraser Buchanan. So 35 metres out directly in front, rolls in, the wind, tricky to navigate, and he misses it just on the left-hand side. So another really good chance there for Moama missed. And the lead now should be an even 4 goals to Rumballara. Helicopter kick out of full back. Patton was there. Oh, well done. Verhey runs around. This one could go all the way. It does! Fantastic goal there. Fraser Verhey. A little bit of class. Beautiful finish. And Moama finally able to get some sort of an answer back. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a ball game on our hands right now. A couple of injuries to Rumballara so far in the game have led to a decrease in their ability to maybe rest some of their midfielders. So that was an area they absolutely dominated the midfield in the first quarter. But Moama really starting to peg back the key statistics in that area, although not on this occasion. Hood wins the footy out of the middle, up to centre half forward. Down to Atkinson. Atkinson's handball was cut off. Turlick was there. Kick. Unable to find his intended target there. Kean Wise. So Sam Sheldon now with the footy. Kicks it up into the middle of the ground. Cut off by Patton. Now up towards full forward. Wise was underneath it. Did he get tunnelled? No, said the umpire. Picked up there by Sheldon. Handball over to Jordan Ives. Finds a teammate out wide. Can they build to something here, Moama? Rumba have got some numbers out wide there. Back into the corridor by hand for Ives, who has a teammate all by his lonesome out wide there in Baker, who got the handball back now in the Pell direction. Was he pushed? No, said the umpire. Papoulis runs around. He's so good at that. And now Jake Papoulis, as you can see, has been moved back into defence. A position that certainly been much more accustomed to seeing him play across his journey here. In his 21st game for Rumballara, officially today. Beautifully done there, Hood wins the footy. Oh, clever there by Wise. Straight back to Hood. Hood now to the half-forward flank on a long searching lead. Oh, it's cut off. It's Ben McGowan there. His opponent just got in front of him. And now Moama with the footy. Ill-directed kick, middle of the ground, cut off, turnover here. Turlick by hand, back to Papoulis, back to Turlick. Turlick wheels around onto his right foot, now chips it up to the half-forward flank. And the mark taken by Atkinson. He's too far out to score. So he feigns the handball, then elects to go out onto the right foot and then just kicks it long up to the hot spot. McCartney was there. So was Atkinson at the bottom. Just punches it forward. And it goes out of bounds, so we'll have a boundary throw-in. Deep inside, attacking 50 for Rumballara. Can't be too long left to go in the first half. 19 points the lead. Moama have, I'd say, about a 3-goal wind in this quarter. They've only been able to kick 2 so far, so they'd like to get another one if they can. Now Clay McGregor. Dangerous kick. Out to a 2-on-1, so Rumba have got the numbers there. They win it back. Kyle Atkinson now to Joshy Wanganeen. Runs to 50. Kick now, forward pocket. McCartney was on the lead, but it was cut off there by Verhey. So Verhey sees something he likes further afield. The kick was okay, but maybe a little bit too hot there for Cosgriff. Now Patton handballs it up and down, fisted down by Atkinson. Now Kyle Atkinson comes in to help out. Handball smothered. Really tough passage of play this. Picked up by Buchanan. He gets it up towards Powell. 1-on-1. They're out of time here, Moama. And that is the halftime siren. Back to a 19-point lead the way of Rumballara. 6-3-39 to Moama. 3-20. You are on Heartland Football right here on NITV, right across Australia on your Saturday morning/afternoon. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage. We'll be back with the second half right after this. And welcome back to Heartland Football here. It is the Rumballara Football Club in the Murray Football League here in North Central Victoria. As a matter of fact, in Shepparton, taking on Moama. It is 6th versus 8th. Currently, 19 points the margin. First blood won by Rumballara out of the middle through Hood. Couldn't find a target going inside 50. Stallion handballed it out to 150 gamer Miller. Up to full forward. Good tussle there. An old-fashioned 1-on-1. But Moama now with numbers link up by hand. And Ives, really nice pass to Pell. He gets a handball off to his teammate there, and I think that might be young Richie, who's the sub for Moama. The kick from centre-half forward by Russell, cut off by McCartney. Started forward, but seemed to be playing a bit of time on the ball in the second quarter. And now off the half-back flank in the third. Oh, gee, that was a dangerous pass, and Corey Wanganeen there was the intended target, but it was ill-directed. Preston shoots it up in the Hore direction. He couldn't mark. Now trying to gather the crumbs there was Baker. Handballed back towards young Dylan Jardine, as a matter of fact, not Richie, with the red hair. Picked up on the half-forward flank there by Cosgriff. Had prior opportunity, caught. That's one thing that's been unrelenting by Rumballara so far in this game, is their pressure. It's just been intense, particularly in the first quarter. Moama really just unable to get any sort of clean ball movement. Then in the second, it was just sheer will and determination that got him back. Oh, beautiful mark there by Wise, showing us one of his party tricks up towards the centre-half forward area. No mark could be taken. Miller took the bump, created an opportunity for Hood. Picked up by Lovegrove Hudson, who rolls onto his right and delivers. Beautiful kick. The wind has died off somewhat. There was a fair advantage actually blowing to that end, and the ball just hung in the air, almost suspended. But it continued to float and float and float. It travelled the full journey. And another goal added to Lovegrove Hudson's tally for the year. So that's 7 goals in 2021, 2 on the afternoon. Beautiful finish there. But it was that great mark by Wise just on the edge of the centre square there that created that chance for Rumballara. And even that pressure that I spoke of down in their back half to force the turnover. Here they go out of the middle again through Hood. Spearing pass up towards Lovegrove Hudson again. They'd want to be careful. Do not let this fella off the chain. He will cut you to absolute pieces. No doubt about that. And good news from Chris Egan. Probably a 3-weeker, hopefully, with a hamstring, which gave him a little bit of trouble in the pre-season. Kick up towards full forward, almost Lovegrove Hudson, just over his head now. Moama, sweep off half-back. Really good kick up towards Russell, whose strong lead in front of McCartney. Provides an option. Now back towards centre half-back. Oh, gee, had to be pinpoint accurate with the kick. He was to Baker. Baker's kick also dangerous into the middle of the ground. Pell on his non-preferred. High up and under kick, got the job done. Handball over the top now by Jardine to Ives, up to centre half forward, and Blade Larkins. He's done well down back so far for Rumba today. Goes out to Anthony Walker. Nice looking pass, but is it just blown over by the wind? It is. Searching for Turlick, but sort of blowing more so across the ground now. As we continue to refer to the wind from the vantage point where we are set up to bring you coverage of this game on NITV on your Saturday afternoon. Turlick. As a matter of fact, on your Sunday afternoon, when you'll be watching the game. Of course, we record with all games in the Murray League played on a Saturday. A full complement of games happening right across the competition as I speak right now. And Moama cut it off. Half-back flank, Pell. Goes by hand to centre half-back now to the half-forward flank, and a free kick's going to be paid. It looks to be going the way of Rumbalara. It is. Must have been something that happened off the footy. It was a downfield free kick. No great advantage to Rumba. Kick up in the Wise direction. Good strong lead. Takes a mark. It's a good move by Trianides. It's certainly paying dividends. Great pass and a clever lead there. And it looks as though Atkinson, the Jamie model this, who read it best. There was probably 3 Rumbalara players that potentially could have taken the mark there. As the ball now in the hands of Atkinson. He'll kick from about 40 metres out, directly in front. The kick looks pretty good. Oh, it's a beauty. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. Through the middle it goes, and Rumbalara get another goal. So they extend that lead now out to, should be 31 points if my maths is correct. High school maths teacher probably watching the coverage this afternoon and shaking their head saying absolutely no chance. Well, guess what? I may have failed in high school, but I've come good as an adult. 31 points, the margin is correct. 8 goals, 351 Rumba over Moama, 3-20. So they pushed hard in that second quarter, and they maybe needed that extra couple of goals as, oh gee, almost an errant sort of a fist there. Don't think it was intended by any stretch by Patton, but no free kick forthcoming, and thankfully there was no damage done. I think it was to Jack Russell of Moama, who's loose and should be on the end of this pass. It was Mitchell Lake who passed it to him, sold the candy to McCartney. Not often you see that done. The kick is just to really nobody in particular, and it's easy pickings for Kyle Atkinson, whose kick wasn't his best effort, but gee, boy oh boy, Anthony Walker just too strong. Pushes out the stiff arm and creates some separation now. Wise tries to create something from a nothing situation. Tripped over his opponent there. Was picked up by Jordan Ives, who finds a target further afield, now by hand, over to Jardine, back by hand. Eventually they're able to just separate themselves a little bit and find a target. Pell downfield, wheels around, kick up towards the hot spot yet again. And that is just wasteful. Really just too easy there. It was Kane Atkinson on that occasion. Now Joshy Wanganeen with the footy on the half-back flank. So Wanganeen, short by foot. Back to Corey Wanganeen. Now to the centre of the ground. Atkinson, Jamie was there. Couldn't mark. It was turned over. Now Verhey up to centre half forward, looking for Buchanan. Unable to find him. Turnover again on the half-back flank. McCartney linked up with Atkinson. Coming back there, that's holding the footy. So Kyle Atkinson tried to do too much. Advantage paid there. And the Jack Russell kick finds the chest of Fraser Buchanan. Now, it's a tricky win to navigate. Currently at 31 points, is to bring it back to 25. And maybe just put a bit of interest back into the contest here. So Buchanan rolls in, right foot, starts at right side. That's a beautiful kick. He knew straight off the boot. He starts the celebrations. His teammates come and lay some skin on him. He kicks his first of the afternoon, and a much, much needed goal there for Moama. As you can probably tell now that wind has shifted, you could see it really did affect the kick. Not the distance of it, but certainly the direction. And if you're going to have a set shot on goal, if you are Moama in this third term, it should be from the right-hand forward pocket. Beautifully executed there. Back to 25 points. Have they got another one in them? Moama. Good pressure in the middle of the ground there by Hood. Not letting Darcy Bibby out of his tight vice-like grip. Punch down. Picked off there by Corey Wanganeen. Out wide to Patton. Floating ball inside 50. Oh, they spoiled each other there, the Moama defenders. Had it all but sewn up there, did Dylan Penny. And his teammate actually spoiled him. So stoppage here, Verhey. Ran through with speed, but good checking there by Wise to tie him up in a tackle. Slap down. Handball backwards to Stallion. 2 goals for the game. Kicks it up towards full forward. No mark can be taken. Atkinson handballs it. Coughs it up. Now Moama away off the half-back flank. A 2-on-1 here. Looking for Clay McGregor, who had it all to do. He's beaten by Atkinson. McCartney there. A really clever little volleyball slap. Back to Atkinson. But he got some body on him and lost the footy. The kick up towards half-back. Read beautifully by Joshy Wanganeen. So Wanganeen goes along down the line. And Papoulis, see the 2 hands go up. A big face palm. Was disappointed in his own effort there. Would have liked to have marked that one. And probably should have, in fairness to him. Kick in the middle of the ground. Fortuitously marked by Lake. Right place, right time. Now up in the Hoare direction. Long searching lead. Couldn't take the mark. Paddles it forward. Now Moama with another chance to go back inside 50. They do. Jack Russell's there. Handballs it back. Buchanan picks up the ball. Now he's held without it. He's going to get a free kick. Just held on to the tackle a little bit too long. Great pressure. The intention was fantastic. Just a little overzealous in the contest, and the umpire was in a perfect position to see that. Although this will be much more difficult to convert. Buchanan 45-degree angle. We'll have to kick it a good 45 metres. It goes all the way, just touched on the line. Great defence there. Well done, Ash Miller in game number 150. Picks it up and beautiful pass too. Out to Wanganeen, who finds Hood now. Hood had nobody to go to, so he just kicked it out to what he thought might be the advantage of Stallion. Stallion has 2 to beat. Not even he can do that. A loose kick out wide. Russell was all by himself. And not able to find him with an accurate pass. So we'll have a boundary throw-in. Far side, almost true centre wing position. Turlick with the footy. Handballed it, was cut off by Fraser Verhey. Now Josh Pell circles around his opponent and finds Bibby, who links by hand to Jardine. Oh, Buchanan couldn't quite hang on to the mark now, kicking in danger. So a couple of free kicks to Buchanan in the last couple of minutes. This time he just pops it up to the advantage of his forward, or he was held without it. The umpire saw it. And McCartney, who just maybe panicked a little bit with Eldridge, the recipient of the resultant free kick. And he'll have a shot from 30 metres out, pretty much directly in front. The kick on its way is good. And Moama get one back. So it's back to a 3-goal game here. So Eldridge gets his first of the afternoon, and Moama all of a sudden right back in this contest. So we spoke about the injuries. Rumballara copped a couple in the first half, and that has slowed down their ability to rotate. And all of a sudden, it looks like Moama have got the fresher legs just at the minute. Back in the middle of the ground, they win another centre clearance here. This time it was Justin Wilson who puts it dangerously inside forward 50. All tied up. So Moama would love to score from here, but Rumballara's defence has been pretty good all day. Oh, well done. Have a look. Ash Miller, the superstar. Game 150. Plays on. Right foot kick. Up to centre half forward. Hood was there. So was Verhey. Come off his chest. Stallion to Hood. Up to full forward. It's going to go all the way. Don't worry about it. Straight through the middle. And Hood delivers the goods. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but just by chance did. A couple of goals on the afternoon, class finish, and that's how quickly the pressure is relieved. Back out to a 4-goal lead to Rumballara. And that stoppage at centre half back, and then Miller just bursting through and run, carry, beautiful pass, and the rest was done by the crafty forwards that Rumballara have in a plenty inside their forward 50 this afternoon. So third multiple goal kicker, Peter Hood, becomes for Rumballara on the afternoon. Back in the middle we go. Stallion, back to Patton, cut off by Pell. Pell now weaves around, gets a kick up towards full forward, leading at it. Here they have an opportunity. This should be another goal. It is. This time it's Moama, the quick answer back. Tobias Hoare with his second of the afternoon. It was an awkward looking kick off the boot, but it was effective. It doesn't always have to look pretty, does it? Got the job done, and that's how quickly, when the ball comes in and you've got numbers there, you are able to actually score. And Tobias Hall turns around, and unfortunately Ash Miller in game number 150 comes off the ground, and that is really going to hurt Rumballara. Provides a lot of run, carry and dash for them, and it looks as though it's an ankle, a left ankle there, as he is grimacing in a fair bit of pain. So he's in the hands of the trainers at the moment. Let's hope that he's okay and it's nothing too serious. Good pressure from Kane Atkinson there to force the turnover at centre half back for Rumballara. It's back to an 18-point ball game. Approaching the end of this third term as Wise gets it out to McCartney. Up to the half forward flank now. Papoulis runs around onto his right forward. He finds Wise. Wise, oh, he copped one high. The umpire could have said he was off too, but nothing happening, so the umpire just lets it play on. Oh, big fly up forward from Lovegrove Hudson. Picked up, now Hood, snap on goal, comes around, not quite enough. Through for a minor score, so 19 points now the margin. So Rumballara continue to press, although some injury concerns, and what looked to be a left ankle now appears to be a left hamstring. That's another hamstring done. Ice going on the hamstring there, and that looked really sore too. So we'll watch this space there. Hopefully nothing too serious for Miller. Such a damaging player. Great mark there by Patton. Chip pass back to McCartney. Finds Steve Stallion. Maybe too far out to score. Runs around and then just loads up on the right foot. Thumping long kick. I'll tell you what, he's kicked it from 65 metres from way downtown. Steve Stallion has kicked his third goal of the afternoon, and the way that he just sort of crept around on the mark, it looked as though he had enough confidence with maybe a bit of a breeze over his shoulder to give it a ride and get the full journey, and he has done exactly that. A crucial goal for Rumballara, a momentum breaker there. 25 points now the margin, and that will remain on the highlight reel for 2021. What a thumping kick. Huge. Back in the middle of the ground, tapped down by Patton to centre half forward. Jamie Atkinson ran at the footy. Oh, clever. Picked up by Wise. Wise now into the forward pocket. Papoulis was there. Wise comes again. Second effort. Helps out really good. Handball back to Atkinson. Lost the footy. Goes again. Really good second efforts here by Rumballara's forward. They keep it locked in there, but not for long. Miama able to repel yet another attack by Rumballara. Now, with it all to do, is Cosgriff. Did really well in the end. Handball's back, gets some help from a teammate here. Oh, underneath the footy, bravely back with the flight there, Wilson. They deserve something from this. Moama kicked up towards full forward. Handball over the top. It's going to be a chip pass, a hospital pass to Pell, but he marks it in the goal square. And I'll tell you what, that ball just hung in the air, which what felt like forever, most particularly for Josh Pell, who just cruises back and does not miss from point-blank range. So they get a quick answer back, and they get it back to 19 points to Moama. But there were a couple of really brave acts there by Moama as they're able to get a response from what was a fantastic goal by Steve Stallion just a few moments ago. So Pell now added to the score sheet for the afternoon. Kicks his first goal. But I think it was Justin Wilson at centre half forward there who just floated back with the flight. And just really brave there, Moama, middle of the ground. They're going to get a free kick high on Jack Russell. Likes to go by hand. Running through there was Jordan Ives, and there's going to be a downfield free kick here for late contact. That one going against Hood, and maybe a little bit unnecessary, that one. Now Buchanan with an opportunity to get it back to 13 points. Tough kick, maybe slightly against the wind. As he rolls in, it's hanging up in the breeze now. Well done. Front position there at fullback. Atkinson did well to mark in front of Eldridge. Doesn't waste any time. Goes out in the Corey Wanganeen direction. Now Wilson, who kicks it up towards full forward. Fist over the top came from Timmy Kelly, done well. Knocks it through for a rush behind. So back to an even 3-goal game. 10-4 versus 7-4. Here at the Rumballara Recreation Reserve, Mercury Drive in the north end of Shepparton, Victoria. Sunny Victoria, beautiful autumn day. We probably won't be saying that in 4 or 5 weeks from now. Turlick, careful by foot to Atkinson, out wide to Wanganeen. Nice pass up to McCartney. Spoiled though. Justin Wilson, geez, tried his guts out, that fella. So centre wing broadcast side will get a boundary throw in. Dying moments of this third term. Rumballara have got a few troops that have fallen. Who's going to have the legs to run this game out? That's the big question, isn't it? Middle of the ground, Russell, careful by foot, found Preston, plays on. Now up to his teammate there in Cosgrove. Searching lead, takes the mark. Has he got options down forward? Oh, terrible kick there. Really disappointing. Lake unable to grab the footy for Moama, and too easy there for Turlick. That was an opportunity blown by Moama. Well done, Turlick, to find Papoulis out wide. Nice looking pass, but Atkinson sort of read incorrectly, led in the wrong direction and read it incorrectly, as we tie up our tongue there a little. But that's okay, because it's 3/4 time here on your Sunday afternoon on Heartland Murray League football on NITV. It is 10-4, 64 Rumballara to Moama, 7-4, 46. It's a 3-goal game. Stick around for the last quarter right after this. Welcome back to Heartland football here on NITV right across Australia on your Sunday afternoon. It's Rumballara playing host to Moama. This is the final quarter, 3-goal game. Out of the middle, Moama win it, get it going their way. Vandersloot kicked 1 goal in the game, kicks it up towards centre half forward. Now Kyle Atkinson there, paddled it out in front of himself, did well to win the footy back. Nice kick too. Oh gee, that is a beautiful kick under pressure. Out to Walker. Walker careful, has the running option there in Turlick. Goes by foot now. The mark not quite able to be completed by Atkinson. The kick up to half forward, Buchanan. Did he have the footy? Yes, said the umpire. Oh, 2 Rumba players tackle the player there. It might have been Jordan Ives who was taken over almost rugby style over the line there. No malice into it. As the umpire throws the ball back in. Pell had it, not for long. It was ripped out of his hands by Wise, whose kick was intercepted by Ives. Up to Russell, turns around onto his left, kick up there. Mark should be taken, it is. So Moama, an early chance to put some pressure on the scoreboard. It looks like Buchanan. I'll just wait for him to turn around so that I can confirm that with you. He'll kick from 45 metres out almost directly in front. We saw Steve Stallion kick a booming goal from inside the centre square in the third term, so distance won't be an issue. Accuracy is. Pulled over to the left. Might be a handy point though. 17 points now, the margin. Rumballara got it out to more than 30 points at stages of the game. They've fought hard to peg it back to where it is now, Moama. Papoulis pushed his opponent out fairly. Well done too. Now Hood finds inside 50. Kerr now rolls around onto the right. Won't quite make the distance. Doesn't matter. Lovegrove Hudson. Free kick paid against. Oh, gee. Maybe it was there. The hands were extended. Were they in the back or were they in the side? Umpire Sam Woods, one of the greats of the region. Fresh off a full season in the Northern Territory, back in the Goulburn Valley area. Doesn't get many wrong. Don't think he did on that occasion either. As Jack Russell onto the chest of Pell. Boots it up towards the half-forward flank. Gets a teammate there now. Lake linked up with Wilson. Wilson into Buchanan. He's held without the footy. No, he dropped it first. And that should be a 50-metre penalty. It is. The umpire pays the 50. So the whistle was blown. Clear instructions were given. And the Moama player, who would have actually kicked a goal, was never going to be a goal, of course, because the free kick was against. It's a very short 50-metre penalty. Anyway, Blade Larkins will take the kick and he'll gain about another 55 or 60 metres with a booming kick. Hood probably held without it there. Pell got away with one and uses the footy. Oh, gee, looked like a good kick there over to his teammate in Kneebone, who dropped it. Now it's turned over. Wise by hand to Kerr. Kerr spun around in the tackle. Stallion got it forward to Hood. Hood by hand cleverly over to Turlick. Under pressure now, Jardine. Well done, Turlick. Kept on going. Handballs it out in front of himself now. Verhey's going to get on the end of a handball. Which way will it bounce? He was able to pick it up. Skillfully done beneath his feet now to Jardine. Handballs it now to Ives. Middle of the ground to Russell. Russell now onto the right foot. Inside 50. Buchanan intended target. Couldn't take the mark. Hits the deck. McCartney there. Loops the handball. Back. No look over his head. Party tricks there. Wanganeen. Back to Wanganeen. Handball cut off there. Larkins was in. He copped the knock. Back to Corey Wanganeen. Kick into the centre of the ground. Nobody home for Rumba. Cut off by Baker now. So Kyle Baker loads up with the left foot and cut off by Larkins. He's been important for Rumballara for 4 quarters of football. We haven't quite played 4 yet, but for what's been played of the game, Timmy Kelly onto the chest of Walker. Runs back to provide the short target. That's ignored and long up the line. Fisted. Straight down to Jordan Ives. By hand, or gee, could have been a free kick. Well done by Hood not to give that away. Now up to centre half forward. Well done, McCartney. He just read that so well. Now over the top to Wanganeen. Can they strike back the other way? Pressure's coming. Wanganeen reels around, kicks it now up into the middle of the ground. Oh, well done. Great mark taken by the young sub in Benny McGowan. Now out towards the half forward flank there. Turlick couldn't take the mark, got Verhey to beat. Now he gets some help. Well done. Stallion by hand. Now to Walker. Boots it. Inside 50. High kick in the direction of Atkinson. Couldn't take the mark. Picked up by Kerr. Runs around onto his right. Oh, it just fades away at the last moment. And goes through for a minor score. And there's been a free kick and a 50-metre penalty given. That's certainly a very long 50-metre penalty as well. Back to Jordan Ives, wasn't quite sure what to do, so elected to go out wide to Dylan Pinney, up to the half-forward flank now. Hits the dust of the boundary line and knocked up a bit of chalk. So almost out on the full, but not quite. As we sit at a 3-goal even lead to Rumballara. Picked up by DeWine. Just loads up and goes deep into attack. Buchanan, been busy in this last term. But he's worn by a glove by his opponent there in Tim Kelly. And the result will be another stoppage deep inside attacking 50 for Moama. Slapped out of the ruck by Patton, nobody there for him. Dribbled along the line. Another stoppage. So 2 goals to Tobias Hoare, Pell with 1, Vandersloot 1, Buchanan 1, Verhey 1, and Eldridge 1 for Moama. Can they add to that and really make this contrast interesting? And they can, potentially, through Josh Pell, right here, right now, who takes the mark at full forward. He's been a real utility for Moama today. Played on the ball, played forward, played back. Now, deep inside attacking 50, has a chance to get it back to just 2 goals. He has kicked it across the face and would be really disappointed with that effort. That should have been converted. So big opportunity missed there by Moama. That's a let-off for Rumballara, who are without Alan Norris, Chris Egan and Ash Miller in his 150th, all who started the game and are off injured. A couple of hamstrings to both Egan and Miller, and then that really heavy knock on Norris. Maybe slight concussion there. So Moama now with a chance up to full forward. That hit the boundary the post. No, it didn't. Snap around the body. Coming around, not doing enough. Yes, it is. The umpires called it a goal. It is a goal. Rumballara players are pointing at the boundary saying that it either hit the behind post, which is where I got a little confused, or went out of bounds. But the umpires disagree, and that is a goal. So, silence around the ground here as Moama really start to push now. Put that one down in your book to Buchanan, who gets his 2nd of the afternoon. So Turlick, McCartney with singles for Rumballara. 2 goals to Lovegrove Hudson. Hood with a couple. Stallion with a couple as well for Rumballara. It's back to an 11-point game now. They need an answer. Final quarter here. The pressure really starting to build. All of the big guns in the middle of the ground now for Rumballara. They need to start winning some of the ball at the centre bounces, which hopefully for them there's not too many of, that they've been the result of an opposition goal. But also the stoppages around the ground. They need to start getting back on top in that area as Justin Wilson wins the footy. His kick was cut off skillfully at half-back. A kick to relieve pressure is really good up the line to Popoulis, who did really well to just buy a little bit of time and eventually see the ball over the line. So the kick from Kyle Atkinson probably gained them about 70 metres there. Every second that ticks off the clock, precious at the moment to both sides. Rumballara want it to run out as quickly as they can, and Moama, time is of the essence for them. Just a couple more goals to get. They have not led at any stage of the game this afternoon. Rumballara has led all day. Injury-riddled afternoon for Rumballara. Can they find a way to just grind it out and somehow get the all-important 4 points here? Jack Russell takes the mark. Inside the centre square, wobbly-looking kick. Hits the deck, chaos ball inside 50. There's bodies everywhere. Tim Kelly not able to control the ball. Buchanan fists it out. He gets some help now from Bibi, who can't extricate the Sherrin. So the umpire comes in to separate things at centre half forward. We'll have a ball up. 11 points the difference. Patton slapped it down. Jack Russell absolutely smashed in a tackle there. Well done, Hood. Keeps the pressure coming. Jack Russell, who's been really good for Moama today, slow to get back to his feet, but he's back up now. Tap down there to McGregor, cleverly in the Pell direction, had it for too long. Great tackle as Atkinson wins the free kick. The pressure has been brilliant from the Rumballara defence all day. There's been no easy goals for Moama. They might have gotten one or two from free kicks that were probably there. But other than that, it's been really difficult to break through the defence of Rumballara, and that's a credit to them. Credit to Coach Jason Trianides. He's worked really hard with this group across, well, the longest pre-season in the history of local football. Of course, no season in 2020 here in Victoria. No community sport whatsoever last year due to COVID, as far as the winter sports were concerned. Of course, we got a cricket season away. Tennis was played. Golf continued at times across the lockdowns. We're a long way from that at the moment, which is fantastic. We certainly are in a very, very fortunate situation here in Australia. Wherever you're watching, thanks for your company here on NITV on your Sunday afternoon. Heartland Football, Murray Football League in northern central Victoria on an autumn day here in Shepparton at Mercury Drive at Rumballara. Home game, trying to win game number 2 for season 2021 in round 3 against Moama, who push. 11 points the difference. Handball to Fraser Verhey. Goes to Jordan Ives, to former teammates at Echuca in the Goulburn Valley League. The kick up to Van der Sluis, the intended target, goes over his head now. George Preston runs it towards the boundary line. Oh, nearly went over the line. Jack Russell picked it up and created something out of nothing. Under pressure here, Rumballara. Good fist. Well done there, Kyle Atkinson. Knocked it 6 rows deep there, needed to do it. So relieve the pressure momentarily. 10 points now, the difference. So running out of full back, long kick up to the half-back flank. Nobody could mark. As you can hear, Coach Jason Trianides ever so passionate. Former St Kilda player at AFL, now coach of Rumballara in his 3rd year. Footy drops down. Nobody could win it. Working hard in there was Wilson for Moama. And Rumballara would be happy to kill a little bit more time. 10 points the difference here. Footy up and down in one spot. Again, no separation can be created, so the umpire comes and throws the footy back up. Papoulis slaps it down. There's going to be a free kick going Moama's way. Player was tackled whilst not in possession. Might actually be Justin Wilson who's got the free kick. And he will look to load up and send the ball long inside 50. Plenty of Rumballara players there. Stallions gone back, got hands to it. Well done there. Atkinson got it out to Joshy Wanganeen, whose kick was a little bit too hot for Papoulis. Was it out of bounds on the full? No. It was touched before it went out of bounds, so just not able to complete the mark there, Papoulis. So the boundary umpire throws it back in. Slapped down. It feels as though the ball's hung around this area of the ground for the last sort of 5 minutes. Buchanan wins it. Back down to Van der Sluis around the body, up to full forward, running through there. Russell couldn't get rid of it. Actually, it was Mitch Lake, number 21. Russell comes over now to the stoppage. Dangerous position here for Rumballara, picked up by Papoulis, desperate, kicks it. It's with Pell now. Pell, check side, Boonana. Surely not from there, he's done it! Josh Pell weaves some magic for the Pies, unbelievable. He missed the shot from almost point blank range on the slightest of angles, about 15 metres out. And well, he certainly makes amends for it there. And it is well and truly game on here. 4 points the difference. So 2 goals on the afternoon for Pell. Not quite sure how long there is left of this game as the time clock, unfortunately, on the scoreboard not working for us. 4 points the difference. Ash Miller, Chris Egan and Alan Norris. None of those guys involved in this contest. Egan from the first quarter, Norris in the second, then Miller very early on in the third. So this would be a gutsy win if they're able to somehow just hang on. Centre half forward, Wise there. Umpire throws it up. Patton slaps it down. Goes again, Wise. Kicks it, was cut off. Almost goalkeeper-like by Ives. Just slams it on the boot. Tries to get it forward. Atkinson's there. Gets some help from Kerr. Gets a handball back now. Wanganeen's got a little bit of time. He needs to find a target. He doesn't really have anybody free, so he goes up the line searching for a little bit of real estate. And luckily for him, in the country, they don't call that deliberate because in the AFL they do every single day of the week. But the smarts there enable just a minor pressure release for Rumballara. You can really feel it building the tension here. Baker won it and kicked it out of bounds on the full, I think. Yep, the umpire signals a free kick. Really important there. Corey Wanganeen wins it. Not many goals kicked in this quarter, so not quite sure how long it will go. 4 points is the difference. Wanganeen loads up on that right foot and his kick's going to go out of bounds on the full. So really wasteful difficult, blustery conditions. Tried to play the high percentage play by kicking it up the line. So Moama, can't be too much time left, you wouldn't have thought. Up to the half-forward flank now. Wanganeen creates a contest. Oh, gee, that could be a free kick to Eldridge. It is. So Eldridge with the footy. He's got some options further afield. He goes with the right foot up towards full forward. Oh, gee, Papoulis used his body cleverly. Oh, this is going to be a goal, is it, to Wilson? No, he misses. He misses Justin Wilson. Almost an open goal there. The pressure of the situation just getting to him. Slews off the side of the boot and goes through for a minor score. Wow. 3 points. 3 points is the margin. 2 minutes left to go. Can Rumballara hang on here? Jake Papoulis with the kicking out duties. Rolls around onto the right foot. Gets plenty of penetration on the kick. Really well done there. Jamie Atkinson takes a good mark. Takes his time. He'll want to take every moment of it. Umpire now calls him to play on. Long kick up the line. And again, that one's out on the full. They're going to need to be a little bit smarter than this, Rumba, with that kick down the line, because the wind is pushing that side of the ground. So that's probably blown it about 10 metres out to the left. Oh, gee, poor kick there by Moama. And that's good for Rumballara. They get a stoppage on centre wing position. Probably just about a minute to go. Three points the difference. Boundary umpire throws it in, slap down. Moama win the stoppage. Handball out to Ives. Ives over the top now. Long kick inside 50. Hall was the target. Couldn't take the mark. Gets out the back now. Oh, gee, happy to rush through it behind there. Atkinson has the footy. They need to maintain possession. He'll take all of the time that he possibly can off the clock here. There's no Moama pressure coming back, so obviously the player has to stand now. Loads up long. Atkinson boots it about 70 out from Moama's goal there. Wise tied up in a tackle. So many bodies. It's almost like a rugby scrum out there. Really favouring Rumballara at the moment. No clean possession can be taken by Moama, and precious seconds continue to tick away on the clock. 2 points the difference here. It's all come down to this. Ives now with the footy, boots it out, and there's that wind again, taking it straight out of bounds on the full, and that will be a resultant free kick. It'll be Kane Atkinson who takes the kick for Rumballara. So desperate to hang on to this 4 points. They've led all afternoon. Atkinson boots it high. The kick, oh, mark taken there. Well done, Wise. Now he goes to centre half back. Walker has the footy. He's got a target out wide there in Papoulis. Papoulis can now just hold it. Yes, he does. At half back now. What's he going to do? Is he going to elect to go long? Tries to buy a little bit more time. Long by foot. Up in the direction of the young sub there, McGowan, who won a free kick for a push in the back. Really important moment in this game. McGowan kicks it up to half forward. Stallion front position. Oh, great mark taken by Steve Stallion. He's on the half forward flank. He's too far out to score. Thought about playing on. The umpire, Sam Woods, now does call him to play on. Gets caught up in his own feet there. Comes back down. Running around there, Jai Udija gets it up to centre half forward. Cleverly by Hood. Over his head now. Walker hits the deck. Was he taken high? No, said the umpire. There should only be seconds left to go in the game. Patton slaps it down. It's in the right area of the ground for Rumballara. 2 points the difference. Seconds left to go in this round 3 clash. Such an important game for both of these sides, vowing to play finals in 2021. It's early in the season, but still, it's an 8-point game, this one. Make no mistake about that. Up to centre half forward. The kick to fall forward. The siren sounds. And Rumballara win the game. 10-5, 65 over Moama. 9-9, 63. And Rumballara will really enjoy celebrating what is a fantastic round 3 win for them, and they're on the right side of the ledger in season 2021. From me, JW, I'll catch you next time here on Heartland Football on the National Indigenous Television Service right across Australia.